All right. Hey, welcome everybody to, I haven't been on here in a while, to Sombertree Health Update. Today's date is May the 8th, Thursday, May the 8th, 2025. And so glad to be here, and I'm glad that you're here as well. And we're going to have a good conversation today. We're going to be talking about the importance of taking care of you, your health, while you're doing healing in the community. All right. And so we're going to touch on that. We're also going to touch on something that, you know, here at Sombertree, we have been wrestling with in the background. I'm just going to share just a little bit of that with you. And, you know, that's it. So, yeah. So if I seem like I'm a little kind of like, ooh, you know, it's because it's been a week of just fighting. I'm telling you. So I'll let you in on that and what's going on that in a little bit. But yeah, so we're broadcasting here on YouTube, we're broadcasting on Facebook, and we're broadcasting on our Instagram channel as well. So in our Instagram, just do a search for Sombertree. You will find us there. I know we don't do too much on there, and I'm really working on that, but yeah, we're here on Instagram, and also we're on Facebook as well. For those of you who are out there, the few of you guys who are on Facebook, you know, because anytime I go on Facebook, it feels like a ghost town, you know, but I know we got some people out there on Facebook as well. So we'll give it about another 20 seconds or so, and I'm just going to go ahead and start, okay? All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, or if you're catching this as a replay, and thank you so much for watching. And so, yes, I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. We're already coming to the close of a week in May. Before you know it, we're going to be done. We're going to be done. May going to be going in a minute. Willie in the house. Good to see you, Willie. And like I said, anybody else that's comes in as well. Good to see you guys as well. Okay. So a couple of things here that I want to talk about. Peace and mind counseling in the house, out there fixing folks, fixing minds, fixing these brains out here. Good to see you as well. A couple of things we're going to talk about. As I just mentioned, in case you're just coming in, one, we're going to just talk about something that's been going on. That's behind the scenes here at Sombertree. I want to share it with you, you know, of that. And then I'm also going to talk about, you know, if you've been following us on our other platform, which is Somber Journeys, we have been really going in on holding this mirror up, you know, and to people and saying, listen, it is time for us to begin to prioritize and fix ourselves, or to begin to address some real things. And I do understand what comes with that. There is, for some people, it is trauma in facing the facts. It is. You know, we laugh at, you know, these Dracula movies where, you know, as soon as the sunlight hits him, and he's like, ah, or as soon as the cross is held up, you know, he's just, ah, you know, all of that. And it's extreme trauma for Dracula, right? But we're not talking about Dracula. We talk about black folks. Mostly, okay. So it's a little bit different, but is it? It depends on which ones you're talking about. But anyway, yeah. So some people, when it comes to the truth, you know, about what's really going on, there's this automatic reaction for some people. They just, you know, they can't handle it, you know. They'll flip out on you, or maybe they say, can't we talk about something else? Or maybe they just feel more depressed and all of that. Well, I put something together that we're going to go through that and how to process those things as we're kind of going through this, because we're at a juncture right now where we're going to really need to start talking about these things, but doing it the right way. Okay. It's not going to be enough to just, you know, I can sit up here all day and do video where I'm showing you clip and say, okay, good night, have a good weekend. Nah, you can't do it like that. You got to put some balance in that, and that's showing some of the good things that's going on too, and showing some encouraging images and all that kind of stuff. And that's what we try to do. We try to bring some balance with this. Okay, so anyway, so let me talk about this first before we get into that. Some of you guys have been hearing about with some of these online companies, these online retailers, what they have been doing for businesses like ours, where we sell herbs and natural things and all of that. Because you got these pharmaceuticals, the World Health Organization and all of that, they are firmly in control of anything at all that it claims to be medicinal. They are specialists when it comes to throwing a monkey in a wrench, if you know what I mean, with businesses that do these things, that sell this stuff. Because they'll tell you, hey, listen, you can't make any medical claims or whatever. We experienced that when we were going during the COVID days, when we would talk about some of the actual solutions that were out there, when we would talk about what doctors were actually saying, the doctors that were not being highlighted on mainstream media, and they were dinging us all the time for any kind of claims or whatever. Well, anyway, Shopify, that's our platform. Back in like the last 29th or so, the 29th or something, they emailed us and they said, hey, urgent, you got to open this or whatever. And they told us that, hey, we noticed that on your website, you're making some claims, some medical claims. And so, customers will still be able to make purchases and orders will still be processed and everything. But we're going to give you to the 8th to get this fixed, because the 8th of May, because after that, if you still haven't gotten it fixed, then yeah, we're just going to cut you off. Okay. And, to tell you the truth, I wasn't really mad or even angry at that, because I had already known that you had companies that were doing this kind of thing. Right. So I wasn't surprised. It's disappointing, but it's whatever. And so for me, instantaneously, my first reaction was, okay, fine. If that's how they're going to play ball, fine. We'll figure something out. But in the meantime, priority is making sure we're getting them payments in like we've been getting, right? So changes were made, submitted. And so they tell us basically, okay, everything's back to normal. Everything's fine, except it wasn't. And still things were being held up. And so I'm on the phone with them literally every day. I would say I'm spending in total maybe about 5 to 6 hours a day. And I've been doing this since last Thursday. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not lying. Okay. And it's been extremely exhausting. I can't even begin to describe to you how exhausting it's been to be on the phone or being on chat with these people. And it's like you have to educate people literally at every step on their job. You got to remind them to look in the notes. You got to remind them of this and that or whatever. And then plus you got the accent. You're trying to pierce your way through, trying to figure out, okay, what are you saying? You literally have, and I have notes and everything. I'm taking notes because, if you have the iPhone, I'm sure you can do it with if you have an Android, but I know iPhone, because that's kind of what I work with. They have a new feature where you can record calls. And not only will it record the call, it will also take a transcript. So anytime you're dealing with some foolishness like that, record it so you have a solid record of it. Okay. And so that's what I was doing. And literally, if you go through all those recordings, you will hear one agent say one thing. You have the next agent say something else. It was literally like, if you haven't seen it, that Spider-Man meme. You ever see that Spider-Man meme where all the Spider-Men are basically pointing to each other? It was literally like that. I think I have it right here. Yeah, it's this one right here. This is literally what I was dealing with and have been dealing with. It's like people just don't know. They don't know, and they're pointing to different departments and all of that. And it's like, okay, this ain't helping me. And they acknowledge that, hey, they screwed up. They screwed up big time. And, and so it's been, and the whole time, y'all, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't yelling. In my younger days, I would have been like going way off, but I didn't do any of that. I've been I've learned as I gotten older that, you got to keep it on the low, but you got to be firm. And that's what I've been the whole time. And, but tell them at the same time, hey, listen, this doesn't look good. This is bad. This is doing bad. This is bad for us, the whole nine, right? So anyway, the way it stands right now is, supposedly everything is, things are doing, everything should be solved now, and we should be good to go this weekend in terms of us receiving stuff. But as far as you as customers, being able to place your orders and all that, you're fine. You can place your orders and all of that. We'll see them and all of that. All that being said, if you do notice a slight delay in your shipments, just know that that's what we've been dealing with. It's nothing. We're not just dragging our feet. It's nothing like that at all. This is literally what we've been dealing with for a week now, a whole week. Someone said, what's the context? I don't know the context of what, of what this broadcast, or, let me know what you're asking. Okay. Right now I'm explaining something about Samba-Tri and what we have been experiencing and all of that. Oh, what do we sell? Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna get to that in a moment. We sell, health and wellness products. I'm gonna bring up the website in a moment. From bitters to, sour sop leaves, you name it. I'll bring it up in a moment. But if you just let me just close this out, I'm going to bring up the site in a moment. Okay. I'm glad you asked. Anyway, the website is sambatri.com, by the way. So if you are a customer and you notice that there was a slight delay in your orders, just know it's going out. Your order's going to go out. We are fine. Okay. But there might be a slight delay due to this situation. But as you can see, this is the world we live in right now. So our solution to this, the way we're going to handle it is, as things get back to normal, we are going to be offering some free classes or workshops where we're going to use that as an opportunity to train people or to teach people on all the things we have on our website and what exactly they're used for. Because if Shopify got an issue with it, okay, fine. But it doesn't mean that we can't do that on other platforms. So we'll just keep an eye out on that. I already talked to Nicole on that. We're going to go through everything that we currently offer on our page, which I can bring up now that someone asked. So as I promised, let me go ahead and bring up the page now for you. And let's see, it's right here. Right here. There you go. Hopefully you can see that. And again, the website is sambatri.com. All right. And hopefully you can see that. So so one of the things we try to do, this is just off the cuff here. So I always try to change. I love putting some nice pictures up there, but so that's the latest one we got up there right now. So if you go to any of the sections there, we sell things like, this latest thing called full spectrum Jemima Silvestri capsules, and that goes through, if you take the time and go through that, if you dealing with sugar cravings, that is awesome. This thing is awesome for that. So check that out when you get a chance. Okay, that's brand new. We just dropped that one. We also have have it in powder form. We have guava leaves. We have this one cacao husk tea. If you're someone that loves chocolate or chocolate flavor, but you also love tea, this thing is the bomb. It's the bomb, y'all. It is, because it's not just the taste, but all the things that it can do. All right. So we try to list a lot of that stuff out and stay within the boundaries of what they're saying we can't say and can't say. But you can look these things up on your own if you go online and see for yourself what they're all for. So we got a whole section when it comes down to teas, to different powders. We have a whole section on natural body care. The thing about us on Samba-Tri is that we believe in 100%. In other words, we had enough of going, buying stuff online or going into the stores, that are supposedly designed for our type of skin and all that. Not that our skin is something unique, but there are some things that we need, you know what I'm saying? And so dental care, all that stuff, when you look at this stuff closely, I'm talking about in the store, like Colgate or AIM, you should not be using those toothpaste products. Okay, you should not be using that. Okay, they put all kind of demonic stuff in there. Yes, I said demonic. When it comes to body creams and stuff, they put different types of chemicals that make your skin ashy, so that you can start using, so you can use it more and more and more and buy. We don't do that. Everything that we sell here is 100% natural, and we do use these things in our own home. Okay, so if it didn't pass the test in our own house, we ain't selling it. Okay, and so it's just as simple as that. So you could check that out. We got a whole line of body care. You can do bulk buys. We have, when it comes to food seasonings and stuff like that, we even did that. We've developed our own, this black on black. I'm sorry, this one here, 50-50 pepper. Have you ever heard of pepper that's 50% pepper and 50% black seed? Well, we came up with that. We developed it. Very simple. And man, it's pepper, but it's pepper on, I ain't gonna say on steroids, because that would be going against everything I just said to you, but it's pepper on a whole nother level, because you're getting the flavor and all that of pepper, but you're also getting all the health benefits of pepper and black seed. They say black seed can cure just about anything but death. That's what someone said a while back. So we got that one. We also have a Bladderex savory seasoning blend. If you take a look at the ingredients of that, all 100% natural. There's no fillers. There's none of that. Okay. And then you can go through the rest here. I mean, we have a ton of stuff. So check out the website. It's sambatree.com. We also have Samba University, where we actually do education. We have ChatGPT for grown folks. Again, if this is something that a lot of people by now have been using and familiar with ChatGPT. However, you still got many people who just kind of heard about it, but really don't know, okay, how can I really maximize this? This is a great place to start. It's our ChatGPT for grown folks class. We have that. I just finished teaching just last week our AI Artwork 101, from words to masterpieces. So we have that as well. And I got a book I'm getting ready to drop now. It's the Big Black Book of AI Prompts. And you can check that out. And we'll be talking more about that in the near future. So, yeah, so there you go. So, yeah, as you can see, we do quite a bit here on this platform when it comes to, because our goal, our focus here is the health and wellness of people, you know what I mean? Particularly black folks, and so that's what we deal with. That's what we talk about. Even when we're talking about the news, that's what we're all about here. Okay, so that's what we're committed to. And so so when you see Samba Tree, you're getting that from us. And this is years and years of own personal experience and all of that, and working with people and doing all that stuff. And then we're so glad and fortunate that we have a platform where we can offer these kind of things to you. All right. And so anyway, so that's that. So I'm going to go back to the site, because in today's broadcast, we're going to look at this particular blog post that I just posted. And I think you really are going to want to read this one. Okay. So if you go to the blog section there, this one is called Breaking the Cycle, How to Stay Strong While Healing Our Community. All right. And I'll be just going through this and stopping from time to time. And let me just give you some context here of this particular blog post. Breaking the Cycle, How to Stay Strong While Healing Our Community. Lately, if you've been following us on our other platform, you know that I have been really going in when it comes to holding up this mirror, to black folks and saying, hey, listen, it is time for us to get real. It's time for us to get serious, about, really talking about these things that we need to deal with. You know what I mean? And, it's horrible, so the things that are unfortunately that are going on. And, when we talk about, the state of affairs when it comes to our black men, or the state of affairs when it comes to our black women, so forth and so on, or our children, it's easy to pivot to other things and say, well, there's this thing that we hear a lot of, like black folks will try to say, well, they're not black Americans. Those are people from Africa or the Caribbean or whatever, because as black Americans, we don't do that kind of stuff. Well, no, stop lying to yourself, because yes, you got black folks here in America that do some crazy things as well. Okay. And so it's about time for us to really start dealing with this. I mean, to pull, to kind of pull some influence from Chris Rock. You know how he said you got and you got you know what I'm saying? So that's just real. You know what I'm saying? It's a real thing. But in this post, we're going to look at this more holistically and how we can deal with this. Because, I've been, showing a lot of clips that I know that it can be very triggering for a lot of people. I totally get it. It can be very triggering and it can be very tiring. I get it. But the truth is we have to face these things. But how do we do this in a healthy way? That's what this is about. Okay. So let me go ahead and go through this and read it to you. And I'll pause from time to time. Okay. Let's be real. Trying to do better while everything around you seems to be stuck in the same old cycle can feel like trying to walk through mud. You might be one of those and you might be the one in your circle who's finally ready to say, nah, I'm not laughing at that. That's not funny. We got to stop celebrating criminal behavior, or we need stronger families, better health, real accountability. That's powerful. That's needed. But it's also hard because waking up is not always peaceful. It's raw. It's emotional. It can feel lonely, especially when others around you aren't ready to face the same truths. So how do you stay strong while detoxing from old traditions and confronting the mess that's hurting us? And that's what we're going to talk about. The step one is this: your mental health matters. You're not just changing habits. You're changing a mindset that's been passed down for generations. That takes strength, but it also takes care. Now, here's a few mental health practices to keep you grounded. Number one, name what you feel. Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you numb, confused? Don't run from it. Write it down. Say it loud. Truth starts here. So when you see these different videos of people, Negroes acting like Negro, acting crazy or whatever, it's one thing just to flip through that, but it's another thing to maybe pause for a second and say, what do I feel about this? For some people, it's going to be, I'm just annoyed, and just take time and ask yourself, why am I so annoyed at this? Or why does this make me angry? Why does this make me sad? It's okay to ask yourself these things. This may seem very like run of the mill or very simple, but this helps you. Trust me, by doing this, you're helping your entire being to process it. You understand what I'm saying? Like you got to stop thinking that it's all up here. It's literally your whole body. Your whole body is attached to these different feelings and stuff that we experience when we're looking at these different videos. That's why you have to take time away from social media from time to time, because what happens is when you're flipping through all these different videos, you literally your body is trying to keep up with all these different emotions. You go from one video where someone's getting shot. You go to another video where someone's shaking their behind. You go to another video, you laughing your behind off. You go to another video where someone's screaming and yelling. Your body is in your brain is trying to process all of that. So you're going to have to allow your mind and your body to really absorb that moment and to process that, especially something that's kind of traumatic, So that's one thing. Practice daily quiet time. Just 5 minutes a day of deep breathing or silence can reset your whole nervous system. We've actually did a video about this some time ago. I think it's on our Samba Tree YouTube page, where I talked about and I showed you the science of when you are silent, when you are immerse yourself in total silence, immediately your brain goes into repair mode. So this is why it's imperative for you to immerse yourself in silence on a daily basis or on a regular basis. Because if you always got those earbuds on and you're always listening to stuff and you're always talking to somebody or you always got a video on, you're not allowing your brain to heal. You're not, and your brain can't, give instructions to the rest of your body on how to repair itself. You understand what I'm saying? So immersing yourself in total quiet silence is a great thing to do. And what better place to do that than sitting on the toilet? No, I'm just playing. That's one place. That could be one place. No, but going outside, taking a walk, going out into nature, you know, that's real good natural silence there. Plus, you're getting the benefit of that fresh air and the sunlight as well. We can get into that later, but you get extra benefits of that as well. Don't overload your soul. Yes, you need to watch some hard truths, but too much can lead to emotional shutdown. Balance is the key. All right. End your weekend with hope. Listen to a powerful song, call an elder, or watch a black success story, or just basically let joy be a part of your fuel. Make sure it's okay. Allow yourself to do that. Like this week, I went to go see what's that movie? The Not Sinners, because I couldn't. This week, what I just explained earlier, I felt like a sinner this week. I mean, the stuff I had to go through this. I was like, y'all, I'm just not in the mindset yet. But we went to go see that. What was it? The Dingbats. I don't know. What's it? The New Avengers or whatever, that one. The Thunderbolts. That's what it is. I said the Dingbats. But anyway, yeah, the Thunderbolts. I went to go see that. You know, it was nice. It was pretty good, and it's really interesting because that kind of ties into what we're talking about here, because it actually dealt with mental health, and my wife loved that because you know this is right up her alley, and so and the importance of healing your mind, and so yeah, it was actually pretty good. I liked it. Anyway, step 2: nature has medicine for this. So you know, yeah, there are natural things that you should consider to adding to your diet as you are taking part in this healing discussion when we're talking about black folks. Okay. So ashwagandha, you know, it calms the body and helps you handle stress without snapping. Okay. I ain't saying to smoke it. Okay. We're not talking like that. Okay. But, you know, taking it as a tea, or just, or making a cold tea or drink or something like that. Or if you can get it in capsules, you could do that too. All right. Holy basil, Tulsi tea, eases anxiety and brings emotional clarity. Mucuna pruriens, hope I'm saying that right, supports dopamine, or also known as your motivation and focus. Chamomile and lemon balm. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. It helps with sleep when your mind won't stop racing. We get a lot of times we get people who tell us that, man, what do you got to have that can help me go to sleep? Because you got a lot of people, it's hard for them to go to sleep because your mind is racing. It's trying to process all these things as you experience during the day or things you saw on social media. Chamomile or lemon balm, that's a great help. Burdock and dandelion root, great for body detox and symbolic of inner cleansing. So burdock or dandelion root. Let's see here. Okay, and then we got a link there. Okay. Step 3: eat for mental strength. What you eat feeds your emotions. You can't detox your mind while eating things that clog your brain and body. Like, so for example, cutting back on sugar, is linked to depression, anxiety, and fatigue. If you're someone that loves sugar, and who doesn't, you need to cut back on it. One of my personal solutions for that is grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice. If you can get your hands on some seeded grapefruits, you need to do it. That's my thing. And, we have the stuff in Samba Tree, store that we sell that can help, minimize those cravings. But I'm just naming something that I personally use. And when I tell you it is taken away, it's almost like it cast a demon out of me. I'm serious. Like, I can now walk by stuff. It was like I couldn't even walk by honey buns and all that stuff, pies and cakes. I just felt that thing just calling my name, just calling me out. And, and it was hard, man. I'm telling you. But I'm drinking that grapefruit juice. And I would juice my own grapefruit that was seeded, because with the seeds, it has something in it that helps to minimize or reduce those sugar cravings. And I can tell you, man, it made a huge difference. Drink more water. Well, we can all do that. Emotions need flow. Dehydration equals stagnation. My advice to you, if you're going to drink water on a larger scale, make sure you add some salt to it, all right? Because that helps your body to absorb it, okay? If you're just drinking it straight, what it does is flushing out all those electrodes or the electrolytes. Sorry, I said electrodes. Electrolytes. It's flushing all of that out. So you want to put that salt in so that your body can absorb that. Let's see. Eat your greens. Yeah, I need help with that. Magnesium-rich foods, spinach, avocado, pumpkin seeds help to reduce stress and anxiety. Another thing would be, chlorophyll. We sell liquid chlorophyll. You can get it locally or whatever. Make sure you do that. Eat healthy fats. Omega-3s like flax, walnuts, wild fish calm the brain and improve focus. Just a healthy tip when it comes to fish. Make sure you do your extra due diligence when it comes to getting fish, because a lot of these fish suppliers, they're getting slicker and slicker with the terminology. They, when they say wild caught, you want to make sure wild caught from where. Or they'll say like line caught, or another one is, I'm trying to think of some of the other slick verbiage they will use. But if it's coming from certain areas like Vietnam or China, places like that, don't get it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. You want to try to get your fish maybe like North Atlantic, or, if you're getting it from the Caribbean, that would be a huge plus. Our brothers and sisters in that area, it's a huge plus for them, because all they got to do is walk out the door and boom, they're there. When we lived in Florida, all we had to do is go down the street and the ocean was right there. So, so unless you live in areas like that, you want to make sure that your fish that you get, it is definitely not just wild caught, but exactly wild caught from where. All right. So I just want to add that as well. And then I gave a little link there as well. All right. Step 4, change your life one ritual at a time. Big changes start with small, steady actions. Here are some life strategies to make the journey easier. Form an accountability circle. Even 1 or 2 people you trust can help keep you focused. This is what we keep saying all the time. You got to get out of your mind that you think that all, in this case, we're talking black folks. It's all us. We're all part of one chain and all of this stuff. You got to stop thinking that way. That is not a healthy way to think. I know that's, you may not have heard anybody say that, but what you have to understand is you got to take care of you. All right. You got to take care of you first. And you got to be very choosy on the people that you connect yourself to. If they're black, they don't get a pass. If they're white, they don't get a pass. If they're Asian, they don't get a pass. You have to establish your own kind of pass in order to come in closer to you. Your privacy, that's your sacred space. You understand what I'm saying? And you got to make sure that you are very choosy about who has access to that. Because, and one of the problems, like I'm mentioning, that we'll see a lot is that, I'm speaking specifically as black folks, we just think that just because you black, just come on in. Everybody come. You treat your life as one big cookout. This cookout that we keep talking about, where everybody's having a community cookout. Everybody having a community cookout, and you just got everybody just coming in and coming out, and coming in and coming out. You can't do that. You cannot operate like that. You got to be very choosy on who you allow in your space. That even applies to brothers and sisters, kinfolk, that it applies to that. You understand what I'm saying? You can't let everybody in. Even if it's a parent, that's kind of like, they got some issues and, it's been a long time, they just got some things going on there. You can love them, but love them from a distance. You got to take care of yourself. Okay. It starts with you, because if you can't take care of yourself, you're in no position to take care of anybody else. All right. Take a digital Sabbath. 1 day off of social media every week. Rest your mind. All right. Do a joy inventory. Let me go back to the digital Sabbath. Like what I try to do is every day or every other day, I'm always going for a walk. Always going for a nice, calm walk, usually during the cool of the day or in the evening. That's what you want to do. Rest your mind. I leave my phone at home. I let people know where I am, on the walk or whatever, but I do not generally try not to bring my phone with me, so you want to be totally disconnected from the internet and all of that. Do a joy inventory. What brings you peace, fun, laughter, that doesn't harm you or your people? Write it down and make it your medicine. So think about some of the things that you really enjoy doing, things that really make you laugh. You know what I mean? And I'm just a hearty, healthy laugh. Think about some of those things. Do you like walking through furniture stores? Do you like writing? Do you like just, there's a restaurant that you've been having your eye on for a long time. You haven't, you've been every time you drive by and like, one day I'm gonna go there. Treat yourself. Little things like that. There's endless, but think about those things that really bring you peace and joy. Reading a favorite book, going to the movies maybe, but I'm always like, man, get outside. Anything that's outside, you should kind of look into it. And now that it's warm, for some of you, you may want to look at, if there's a nearby river or a lake or something like that, you may want to look into, doing some little rafting, something that you don't do every day. Little things like that, they go a very, very long way. If there's anything in season right now, I don't know what's in season right now. You may want to look into picking fruit or something, or picking vegetables. They have farms out all the time that you can go pick things. Do things, challenge yourself, do things that you normally don't do, and you'll see how it really will make an impact. You'll be talking about it for weeks, for real. All right, almost done here. Affirmations for the hard days when the journey feels too heavy. Say this to yourself. I am breaking chains, not traditions. I can face the truth and still love myself. I release shame and choose responsibly. I don't have to carry it all. I just have to keep walking. You don't. For some of you, you are in a position where you feel like you have to carry everything, including broken people. You can't do it. I have to remind myself of that every time. I can't carry everybody as much as you kind of want to, but you just can't. You can't do it. You gotta know, you gotta take care of yourself, right? And just create some type of mantra. I ain't talking about praying to some deities or anything like that. I'm just saying, say it to yourself. Say it, and until that becomes your reality. All right. You're not alone. At Samba Tree, we believe that healing and community starts with each of us taking care of our own body, mind, and spirit. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it honestly. So if you've been feeling tired, overwhelmed, or frustrated while doing the work to break generational habits, know this. That means you're doing it right. This is the detox before the breakthrough. Stay the course. And yes, we're right here with you. All right. So there you go. There you go. So this is what we do. That's why I said this is what we're all about here at Samba Tree. We're about the health and wellness of people. We want to see people in their right minds, healthy and well, and so, like I said, lately on our other channel on Samba Journeys, we have been spending a lot of time talking about just the realities of, what's been going on, amongst what we call the Black community. And it's a conversation that a lot of people just don't want to have, but we must have it. We're not saying it in hatred, or we don't hate people. We're not beating anybody up, but we have to talk about these things, talk about them openly, but also constructively. And with things like this, giving people a way that we can engage in these type of conversations, but doing it healthy. It's a healthy way of doing it. Peace of Mind Counseling said, daily gratitude is good too. I may have missed you saying that, but you're good. Yeah, say it again. It can't be said enough, and just finding things that you can be grateful for, that you're very grateful for. Assessing those things in your life that, this is good. This is actually going good for me. Like today, for example, today is my daughter's birthday. Now I can let this stuff that I was talking about earlier really get the best of me, or I can say, you know what? Let me put that on pause and let me take the time and remember the day that our daughter was born, when they were pulling her out in the cold and all of that, and how I felt and all that stuff. Let me make sure I take some time to remember that and just cherish those moments, because it's not easy when you're engaging in these different conversations, that deal with healing and addressing some of the pain that unfortunately a lot of Black folks feel like they can escape from. But you can't escape it. I think Peace of Mind, you mentioned this in a comment, think you can move away to a different country or so, and you think you leaving it, but you're actually bringing it with you. I mean, I can't tell you how many examples of that where we live right now in this community. It's not too many Black folks. It's mostly white people, but it's whites, and then you got Hispanics, and then I'll say Black folks, we're kind of down, in terms of numbers. But it's not really the Black folks that are doing anything crazy. It's the Hispanics, and that I'm saying. And again, I'm not saying all Hispanics are like this, but what I am saying is the ones that are really contributing to, unfortunately, some of this stuff. They big on these electric bikes out here and saying, doing all kind of crazy stuff, because there's other people too in our community board that we have here where we live, that have been pointing this stuff out as well. And, they come into a community, and this particular group, they come into a community and they're bringing stuff that the people that are here, they're like, whoa, I'm not used to this. You know what I'm saying? And again, let me be clear. I'm not saying that the white people were here, they had it perfect until y'all came. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, you see this played out all the time. You will have a community that have a certain set of values, and then you got another group that comes into that community whose values may be a little bit different, and you're going to see clashes and all that kind of stuff. So main thing is, make sure you have your own set of values, stick to those things, and make sure you are partnering with people who share those values, most importantly. And then hopefully other people will get inspired, and then they will want to follow suit and want to do the same thing. So that's really what we want to see happen, period. So that is all I have. I just want to jump on here again for all your health and wellness needs. Make sure you check out our website. It is sambatree.com. Again, it's sambatree.com. And also check out our friend here, Peace and Mind Counseling. Check her out too. She's a licensed counselor, and so she posts videos where she talks about these things. Make sure you check her out as well. There's a lot of great people out here that are doing the work, and they're either in self-healing themselves, or they're trying to help people to see the value in self-healing. And you can do it. You just got to allow your body and your mind the space to do it. Because if you was to scratch yourself, for example, or cut yourself, what does your body naturally do? It will heal itself. So we have the tools within our body. Your body will automatically try to heal itself all the time. And when we learn to sit back and allow our body to do its work and give it the space and the right tools to do it, it's going to do it. But we have to stop immersing ourselves too much in a lot of the foolishness that's out there, because otherwise you're never going to you're never going to heal, and you're always going to be in a perpetual state of depression and everything else. So that is it. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, one more time, the website is sambatree.com, sambatree.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on YouTube as well. And, we try to update people on some of the latest things that we notice that's going on here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to discuss here. Other than that, that's it. If you're not subscribed to our email list, make sure you subscribe to that, because that's where we try to inform people on some of the latest things that we got going on. So make sure you subscribe to our email list. Again, go to the website, sambatree.com, and you can check that out. Okay. That's all I have for you. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys take care, and we'll be talking again soon. You take care. If you have any questions, you can message us on these platforms, or you can email us at care@sambatree.com. Again, it's care@sambatree.com. Take care, and we'll be talking to you again soon. Take care.